Hello, everybody, and I would like to thank my wonderful subscribers. Okay, everybody, today we are going to be watching 3 disturbing childhood memory horror stories. This image is pretty damn scary. I don't know what the context to that image could possibly be, but yeah, childhood, perfect time to have something horrible happen, because you might just be able to forget about it if you suppress it in your memory. But yeah, let's hear about these horror stories that they may have forgotten and then rebuilt in their brain. Hopefully, this is unexplained childhood memories. Shit, that'd be a lot. Story 1, Anonymous. Let's do this.
When I was about 9 years old, I lived with my mom and little sister in a small house in a quiet town. The street was mostly safe,
Man, these
and kids would ride their bikes outside in the summer. But even back then, there were things that didn't feel right about the house.
What?
My mom used to say it was old, and old houses make noises.
Yeah.
But some of the things I remember from that time didn't sound like house noises.
Right.
They sound like something else.
What,
something I still don't really know how to explain.
Okay.
The first thing started one night when I couldn't sleep. I was lying in my bed with a blanket pulled up to my chin, staring at the little glow-in-the-dark stars on my ceiling.
Aw, you have
My room wasn't very big, just a bed, a dresser, and a toy chest near the window.
Like all
I
you
remember
need.
looking at the shadows on the wall from the trees outside.
Oh,
The
no,
branches
don't
swayed
do
whenever the
that.
wind blew, and I told myself that's what I was seeing.
Yeah.
But then I noticed one shadow wasn't moving like the others.
What?
It was in the corner, down low near my toy chest. At first, I thought it was a pile of clothes or one of my big stuffed animals.
Yeah.
I almost laughed at myself because I thought I was just being a scared kid.
You are.
But then I blinked, and the shadow was gone. I remember feeling cold, like the kind of cold that comes from the inside of your body, not the air.
What?
I pulled the blanket over my head and fell asleep.
Yeah.
The next morning, I didn't even think about it until I saw my toy chest.
It was open?
It was standing open, like someone had been looking inside.
Oh, no.
I never left it open, because my mom would yell if toys spilled out.
Ah.
I closed it and didn't say anything.
Okay.
A few weeks later, my sister, who was only 5, told my mom she didn't like the man in the closet.
What?
I basically froze when she said it, because she said it so casually, as if it were just a fact.
No, that ain't normal.
My mom brushed it off and said little kids imagine things.
No.
But I saw my sister's face, and I could tell she wasn't making it up.
Duh.
She said he would stand in the closet at night and whisper, but she couldn't hear the words.
No.
My mom tucked her in that night and said a prayer with her, but she didn't check the closet.
Why?
Later that night, I woke up because I heard something dragging across my floor, like someone pulling their nails across the wood. I was too scared to move, but the sound stopped right by my bed.
Oh my God.
I was sure if I looked over the side, I'd see something staring up at me.
Yeah.
I just froze there, clutching the blanket until I fell asleep again.
Yes.
The next morning, there were long scratches on the floor right by the side of my bed.
Okay, you told your mom about this, right? Yeah, you told your mom about this now, right? This is proof. Yeah, I hate when the parents decide to just not chat or just like, oh, it's just your imagination. Like, okay, even if you're right about the whole imagination line, what bad is going to come from you taking 1 to 2 minutes to open something, look under something? Like, what? Like, even if there's nothing, it will show your kid that you understand them and that you are willing to at least chat. Heck, I would even bring a weapon, because it would show that you are willing to defend them. But instead you just say, no, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, what? No. I would check the closet every night. Okay, maybe not every night, but like, if I had a kid, like, I would bring a knife, because I can't trust the world.
They were fresh, like someone had carved into the wood.
Yeah.
I remember running to show my mom, but she got angry. She said I must have been playing with something
Oh my
sharp or
God.
dragging furniture. I swore I hadn't, but she didn't believe
God
me.
damn it.
After that, the nights got worse.
Do you really believe
I
your
would hear
wail
faint
is safe?
whispers, almost like a radio on low volume, and it would come from my closet. Sometimes my sister would cry in her room, and when I ran in, she would be pointing at the corner, saying, "He's there, he's there."
Chat.
I never saw him,
God damn it.
but I believed her.
Yeah.
You know when someone's watching you and the hairs on your arms stand up?
Yeah.
That's how it felt.
Yeah.
The scariest night was in the middle of winter.
What?
I woke up and saw my bedroom door was open.
No.
Even though I always shut it tight.
No.
I could see the hallway light because
Oh.
my mom left one on for us at night. But
Why?
then, as I watched, the light in the hall went out.
No.
I thought maybe the bulb turned out.
No.
Then I heard footsteps coming
No.
down the hall.
No. No.
They
no.
stopped outside my door.
Why?
I wanted to scream for my mom, but nothing came out.
Yeah, I
The
bet.
door creaked, and I saw a tall, dark shape lean in. Just its head, poking into the room. I shut my eyes and pretended to be asleep.
Oh God.
When I opened them again, the door was closed and I was
Oh
alone.
God.
In the morning, I asked my mom if she had come into my room. She said no, she had been asleep all night. My sister said she saw the man
Yes.
again standing by her bed.
Yeah.
We told my mom together,
Yes.
and she finally looked worried.
Thank you.
She lit a candle and said a prayer in each room of the house.
Shut up.
Things were quiet for a little while after that, but it didn't last. One afternoon, I came home from school before.
Okay, mom. Here's what's happening. I don't think this is a demon or a ghost or anything like that. You know what I think could be happening? What I'm thinking is that a person is getting into our house, looking around, and they're either hiding somewhere in a crawl space, or they're able to leave and enter as they please, okay? Your little players aren't gonna do shit, okay? I need you to man up and either get a knife or call 911, okay? That's what I need you to do, okay?
My mom. I was sitting on the couch doing homework when I heard the sound of the toy chest in my room slam shut. The thing is, nobody else was home.
Yeah.
I hoped it was just the wind, but when I
How?
walked down the hall, I saw my bedroom door was wide open.
Yeah.
My toy chest was closed, but all my toys were scattered on the floor like someone had dumped them out.
Yeah.
I backed away and waited outside until my mom came home. When I told her, she still didn't believe
What?
me and said the cat knocked things over.
What?
Years later, after we moved out, I asked my mom if she ever experienced anything in that house. She hesitated, then said yes.
What? What
She
was
said
it?
sometimes she would wake up and see a shadow standing in her doorway.
What?
She said she never told us because she didn't want to scare us,
What?
but she admitted she believed there was something wrong with that house. She said she thought it was a man,
Yeah.
someone who used to live there. She never said much more, but I know what I saw, and I know what my sister
Yeah.
saw too. Even now, as an adult, when I think about that time, I feel sick in my stomach.
Yeah, I
It wasn't
bet.
imagination. It was something real.
Yeah.
And it wanted us to know it was there. Sometimes late at night
Yeah.
when I can't sleep, I
You'll
still hear the
see
sound of
him.
nails dragging across the floor.
Oh my god. I don't know why that story pretended it was like a demon or something. What the hell, Mom? You didn't want it to get sedated? If I saw a man at my doorway, and then I heard my children shouting all this shit about how there's a man in my closet, I wouldn't care if I sedated them. Or if I would say, hey, kid, we're gonna leave the house for a couple hours. And then I would call 911, and I would hope to be able to catch him. I would tell the police everything. Hell, maybe, I don't know if there's a thing police officers do, but like, maybe one of the police officers can like sleep in the house for a night or two. I don't know. But like, what the heck? What? I would rather be sedated than possibly dead. You are lucky that nobody got hurt. Because if that was a real human being, they could have easily came in there one night, murdered you, then murdered your kids so fucking easily. They could have done it easily. And if one person gets murdered, it's already a tragedy, okay? God. Terrible parent. Okay, I know I shouldn't judge parenting based on one factor, but keeping your kids safe and believing them is the biggest possible factor, right? I think the part of it. Story 2 is by Raj. Let's hear about this one. Hopefully the parents are good.
When I was 10 years old, my family moved into a bigger house because my mom had just gotten remarried and we needed more space.
Okay.
The house was nice, newer than the one we lived in before.
Yeah.
It was in a quiet neighborhood with a lot of trees. I thought I would be happy there.
You weren't?
At first, everything seemed normal. But then little things started happening that made me feel like the house wasn't right. My bedroom was at the end of the hall.
Okay.
It had 2 big windows that faced the backyard and a closet that was deeper than the one I had before.
Nice.
I liked it until the first night I slept there.
No.
I woke up around midnight because I heard something moving in the closet. It wasn't loud, just soft shuffling like clothes being brushed against. I stared at the closet and told myself it was just the house settling.
How settling?
I know it sounds cliche, but most people, even as children, would assume small sounds coming from here and there in a house are just typical house noises that you hear every day.
I don't have those.
But then I saw the door move.
Yeah.
It didn't swing open, but it shivered like someone had lightly pressed on it from the inside. I wanted to run to my mom's room, but I was frozen.
Nothing gonna happen.
I stayed that way until I fell back asleep, still staring at the closet. The next morning, the closet door was cracked open just a little, even though I had shut it tight.
Yeah, you did.
I asked my mom if she had gone in there, and she said no. She said maybe the air vents pushed it, but I knew it wasn't the air vents.
Yeah.
The nights after that got worse. I started hearing tapping on the window glass. At first, I thought it was tree branches, but when I looked, there were no branches near the window. The tapping would go on for minutes, and when I pulled the blanket over my head, it would stop. I tried to ignore it until one night I finally peeked out.
It was a person.
I saw a pale hand pressed against the window. It was on the outside, but the window was on the second floor, way too high for anyone to reach without a ladder.
It's higher.
The hand stayed there for a long time, just pressed, without moving.
Yeah.
Then it slid down slowly and disappeared.
Oh my God.
I didn't sleep at all that night.
Yeah, I
told my mom, and she started cracking up laughing when I told her. She didn't believe me for a second. When she saw that I wasn't just saying it as a prank or a joke, she leaned more into trying to convince me that I was probably in a half-asleep state and seeing things from my dream.
Okay.
But I knew that was a load of horseshit.
Maybe.
My stepdad didn't believe me either.
God.
He said I was making it up for attention. And he also got a laugh out of it.
Okay,
but I started noticing he kept the hallway light on at night, so maybe he didn't feel as safe as he pretended.
Good.
A month later, my little brother, who was 4, started talking about the white lady.
The white
lady. He would say she came into his room and sat on his bed. My mom thought it was just his imagination. But one night, I heard him screaming. I ran in and saw him curled up under his blanket.
What the fuck is with parents? It's just your imagination. It's just your imagination. No. I don't think they understand how children imagination works. I don't even think I understand how it works. But as far as I know, there is a difference between having an imagination that is really good and having an imagination that allows you to have hallucinations. There's a difference. What do you mean it's a kid's imagination? What? You think he somehow imagined a white lady in his room or something? How? How would that even work? 1, kids' imaginations are usually a toolbox. They make up what they want. Why would he make up something he doesn't want to see? Okay, I guess sometimes your brain does do that, but it's dumb. If both of your kids are saying that creepy shit is happening, you believe them at least.
Crying. When he finally calmed down, he said the white lady had been standing by his door, just staring at him. He said her eyes were all black.
Oh my god.
I believed him because of what I had seen at my window.
Yeah.
I started sleeping with the blanket over my head every night.
Why?
But that didn't stop the dreams.
Oh my
I
god.
began to dream of the white lady too. She would stand in the corner of my room and whisper my name. Her voice was dry,
Oh my
like
God.
leaves rubbing together. Sometimes I would wake up and still hear it.
No.
Faint, but definitely real.
Okay,
One night I
that might
woke
not
up
be real.
and saw her standing at the foot of my bed. She was taller than anyone I had ever seen. Her head almost touched the ceiling. She wore a long white dress that moved even though the air was still. Her hair was black and stringy,
Oh,
and her
God.
face was pale like
Oh,
chalk.
God.
Her eyes were like
Oh,
empty
God.
black holes.
God.
I tried to scream, but nothing came out.
Oh god.
I shut my eyes, and when
Oh,
I opened
God.
them again, she was gone.
Oh god.
But my closet door was wide open.
Oh god.
After that, I couldn't go in my closet anymore. I begged my mom to let me sleep in her room, but she
No.
said I need to learn how to be brave. I think she
Brave.
didn't want to admit she was scared too.
Yeah, good.
The worst
Hold
night
up,
came during a
please.
storm. Heavy rain and
God
loud
damn
wind.
it.
I woke up to the sound of my window creaking.
Oh god.
When I looked, the window was slowly sliding open,
No.
even though it was locked.
No.
I could see the lock turning by itself. The window
No.
opened all the way, and I saw the white lady climb in. She didn't move like a person.
Oh god.
She floated.
Oh,
Her
God.
feet never touched the
Oh
floor.
god.
She drifted toward my bed and leaned down until her face was right in front of mine.
What?
I felt her cold breath on my skin. She whispered my name
No.
again, and this time I screamed as loud as I could.
Good.
My mom and stepdad came running in.
Yeah?
But when they turned on the light, the window was closed and locked, and no one
Okay.
else was there. They yelled at me for scaring everyone, but I could see in their faces that they were worried.
Yeah.
The weird thing about that part of the
God.
story is that I don't vividly remember what happened between the moment I saw that lady floating towards me and my screaming. The
Yeah.
best I can explain it is that I sort of blacked out for a moment before remembering screaming and having my parents
Yeah.
rush into the room. My window was closed again, which would suggest to people that it was just a night terror. That's
Yeah.
what my parents believed it was, I think.
I mean, yeah.
My mom
like-
started taking me to therapy for a while because they were worried about me. We lived in that house for 3 more years, and I never got used to it.
What is
My
that
brother stopped talking
happening?
about the white lady, but I think it was because he was too scared,
Oh,
not because she
boy.
stopped visiting. Sometimes I would hear him crying at night and saying, "Go away."
Oh my god.
I think he just also didn't want to be forced into going to therapy.
Oh my god.
Sometimes when it storms at night, I still get scared to even get up to go to the bathroom or get water. I glance over at corners of the room, making sure I don't see something tall lurking there. It goes
Oh,
to show how
God.
these kinds of things stick with you into adulthood.
Yeah, they do.
I'd be more open to believing it was simply night terrors if it weren't for the fact that I saw that hand on my window before my little brother even first mentioned the white lady.
Yeah.
I guess this is just one of those freakish experiences that cannot be explained.
Okay, in that story, it was a little more credible why the parents wouldn't believe. Because they actually did come in while you were dreaming your ass off and they didn't see anything. How are they supposed to believe it if there's no proof? I get it. I kinda get it. But also, you don't dismiss the fears right away, Like, that story, that adult has, a permanent sort of, trauma to, nighttime now. That kid, that should stick with him for the rest of his life, okay? It would have really helped if you, actually tried to, do something about it. Yeah, it would have helped. Your kid was crying at night. I do not know how you live like that, even if you didn't hear it. That is messed the fuck up. I hate these parents. Maybe the reason why all these parents are bad is because the only people who would post their stories on Mr. Nightmare about their childhood trauma are people who had bad parents. Yeah, that is how I'm going to rationalize it. Why these parents are shitty. The third story is by named John. So his name
When I
is
was
John.
8, I rode my bike every day after school.
Okay?
I lived on a quiet street with small houses and big trees. I learned every crack in the sidewalk. I learned where the mailman stopped. One house I liked was down the block. I had to ride near the corner of the block to get a view of the yard.
Yeah.
There was a long driveway and a wide lawn.
Neat.
An older man stood in that driveway
Who
most
was it?
afternoons. He'd always wear a hat, and he'd stand where the driveway met the sidewalk and look down the street. When I rode by, he would say hi.
He's a creeper.
He never came onto the sidewalk. He never stepped off his driveway. He would call out and wave, and then go back to watching his yard.
Yeah, okay.
I always waved back. My mother told me to never cross the street by myself, so I never crossed to actually speak to the man face to face.
Okay.
The man knew that.
Good.
He would call to
move.
me from his place and ask about school. He would ask about my bike. He asked if I liked the bell on my new red bike. I even remember once he told me a joke about a cat that made me laugh.
Ha.
We talked for weeks like that. The conversations were short.
Yeah.
They were always from his driveway to the curb. He seemed to know small things about me without me saying that.
Oh,
For example, the fact that I had a little brother, or my dad got a new car.
I mean, not one.
I never told him these things. I thought maybe he had seen us from down the block or
Yeah,
something.
maybe.
Like he was just a neighbor who watched the street. One day
That's
I got a brand new
weird.
bike. It was red with a shiny bell, like I mentioned before.
Yeah, you did.
I rode down the block slow, and he called out, "Nice bike." He asked if I wanted to race to the corner.
What?
I told him no, because my mom would be angry.
Yeah.
He smiled and said, "One day."
Yeah.
After that, we
one
talked
day.
about small things. He told me about a bird that liked his fence.
Really?
And then about a rule about never stepping on a certain stone. Then he told me a story about a dog that would always bring a slipper back. He sounded like someone who had time to watch small things.
Yeah.
I
That's
started
what you
looking for
do
him when I was on my bike.
when you're old.
Some afternoons he was there and sometimes he wasn't.
Okay.
Then one week he stopped coming out.
Oh.
I rode down the block past the house and no one stood there. The curtains in the front window were closed.
Yeah.
I slowed down and looked at the driveway, and it was kind of weird not seeing the man there.
Oh
I
my
wanted to
God.
ask my mother if I could cross the street. She said no.
Yeah.
She said the road was not for unsupervised kids.
Come on.
Anyway,
Fill you
a
up
few
both
days later,
ways.
I saw a woman in the backyard of that house.
What?
I had never seen anyone in that yard before. I had to
Yeah.
ride around the corner to see her. She had her hair tied back, and she held a watering can, so I had to assume she was watering flowers
Yeah,
back
the
there.
maid or something.
I stopped my bike down the street so she would not see me too close. I wanted to call across the road like I always did, but I didn't.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if I was too shy or scared of what my mother would say if I were staying out too late.
Come on,
The
your
woman
mom
didn't seem to
is
notice
not
me
gonna
any more
notice.
than I noticed her, though. A few days later, I rode by again, and the woman was on the back porch.
Oh, that's
She had a
weird.
mug in her hands. I sat on my bike and watched for a bit. Then she opened a small side door and went around the house.
Okay.
I pedaled slowly to the corner and waited where the sidewalk curved.
Okay, now this is interesting. There are a couple of explanations for this. One, the man we've been seeing this whole time, he does not own the house, and he has been some guy who has just been there watching kids like a weirdo. Two, he was murdered by this new woman. Or like some other option. I don't know. I haven't gotten that far ahead. But yeah. Yet she wears this goes.
I looked down the block just to ensure my mom wasn't outside. Then I decided I would quickly cross the street. I pushed my pedals and
Yeah.
crossed like my life depended on it. The house looked bigger from up close.
Wow.
The driveway was long and sloped down to the road. I felt like I was not allowed to be there.
I mean, you
I
aren't.
stopped at the end of the driveway near the back gate. The woman heard me. She turned and saw a small boy with a red bike standing at the gate.
It
She
was
looked
you.
surprised, but not angry.
I mean,
She
yeah.
came to the gate and opened it, and she asked what I was
Nice.
doing back there. I told her about the man on the driveway,
Yeah.
and that he would used to say hi when I would bike past. I told her he knew my name.
She had
and he
no
said he would
idea,
race me
does
one
she?
day. She wiped her hands on her dress like she had been working, and then said the man I described sounded like her husband.
Okay.
I smiled, thinking she would say he went on a trip or he's inside and she'll
Dead.
go get him. But she didn't smile. She said he had died the year before.
What?
She said he died in his chair.
What?
His name was Harold.
Okay.
I felt a cold space open in my chest.
That's not how that
I
works.
asked her if she had a picture. I wanted to see him. She went inside and returned with a small frame.
It's him.
The photograph showed a man with the same hat and the same broad smile. He actually bore a resemblance to the man I'd always seen.
Yeah.
Then the woman said the photo was new, taken only a couple of years ago. She said her husband had a scar across his cheek since he was young.
Do you see
I looked
that?
at the photo close, and the man in the picture had a thin, pale scar from ear to mouth.
Do you remember that?
I remembered the man on the driveway. He had no scar.
Oh.
He had a round, plain face and smooth
Mean.
skin. The hat matched and the smile matched, but the scar did not. I told her I once saw a mark on the man's face, but I thought he rubbed his cheek once. She said that scar had been there for a long time,
Yeah.
but that he'd hide it under stubble sometimes.
Did he have
She
the
said
double?
again that her husband had died and that no one else lived in the house. She said she had moved back last summer to take care of the garden, and that she's never seen or heard anyone standing in the driveway. I honestly started to get kind of scared at this point.
Yeah, I would too.
I thanked her and backed down the driveway.
Man,
I didn't look back into the yard again.
he's dead.
I rode home slow and put the bike in the garage. The bike ride back was kind of like how when you almost get into a car accident, you'll drive home the rest of the way in silence with the radio off.
Yeah.
My mom didn't ask any questions when I got home.
Why would
She
she?
just told me to be careful. That night I couldn't sleep. I thought about the man with the hat. I thought about his laugh and the way he said my name, and I thought about the scar in the photograph. The next day I went by the house and the curtains were open. Sunlight touched the porch and driveway, but no one stood in the driveway.
Well, yeah, he's dead.
I waved from the corner, but no one waved back,
Huh.
so I pedaled away. For a while, nothing else happened. I tried to forget. I made new routes on my bike. I talked with kids on other blocks. Weeks passed. Then one night, I woke up and heard my name.
Oh, God.
It sounded like someone outside the house near my window.
No.
The voice was familiar. It said my name like the man across the street used to
no.
say it. I sat up fast and my head started spinning. Over the light sound of raindrops
Oh,
outside,
God.
I knew for a fact I was hearing my name being
Oh,
repeatedly
God.
called. I shouted for my mother and then threw the covers
Why?
over myself, hiding. She came in a hurry and sat by the bed.
Yeah.
I told her about the voice outside my window. She rubbed my back and told me it was the wind.
What?
To make
Chat.
me feel better, she went to the window and lifted the blinds. She said there wasn't anyone out there,
Okay.
so I went over to check myself. There was a light rain outside, but other than that, my mom was right.
Yeah.
My father got up and checked the locks to the windows and doors.
Thank
He
you.
looked outside with a flashlight, which made me feel better.
Thank you.
They
Gee.
said there was no one out there.
Okay.
When I insisted I heard a voice, they said perhaps the most typical thing a parent would say to a scared child,
Your
that I
imagination.
dreamed it. The next morning, my throat hurt from shouting the night before.
Yeah.
I told my friends at school, and they laughed at me for implying I believed in ghosts.
I don't. You
One
don't.
friend dared me to stand in the driveway of that house at night and call his name. I did not take that dare.
Yeah,
Days passed and nothing happened, so I
Okay.
moved on. The years went on and the street changed. Houses sold and the woman's house stood empty for a little while.
Okay.
I once saw movers taking boxes out. Later on, new people were painting the front. The long driveway was still there, but it had new cars. I rode past and did not look for a man in a hat. I got older. I learned other routes. I
Yeah.
learned the names of new neighbors and their dogs. And eventually, at the age of 18, I moved out for college.
Okay.
I never moved back to that house because my parents sold it while I was in college. But the memory of that man sits like a small stone in my chest. I wonder why I didn't ask the woman for more pictures or go back to press her for more details. I guess in that moment, I was scared to wonder if I'd been talking to a ghost.
Oh, come on.
I didn't cross that street again for a long time. I told the story to one or two people later in life, and they even asked why I didn't go back and ask that woman more,
Yeah.
or why I didn't tell the woman everything I remembered. Maybe they were right. Maybe I should have been braver.
Maybe.
Maybe I should have asked more questions about the scar or to see a wedding photo. But I was 8. I wasn't really thinking that way.
Yeah, I know. You were
A few years ago, I drove down the block just for the hell of it.
What?
A child was riding a bike near the corner.
Aw.
The driveway was empty. For a moment, I wanted to stop. I wanted to ask if anyone had stood there and said hi. I wanted to know if anyone else had heard a voice in the rain.
That would be
I
kind of
wanted
creepy.
a small answer that would close the gap. But I didn't stop. I just kept driving. The memory stays as it was. And I try my best to suppress it these days.
Ooh. Okay, those... I don't believe in them, so any explanation I come up with is not gonna have ghosts in it. Obviously, the one with like, oh, you heard a voice in the rain. I'm gonna be honest, your parents could be right about that one. Like, it could actually have just been you. After all, you learned that a person you've come to know had died. So, in the middle of the, maybe not the middle of the night, but in the night, your brain, in remembrance, we heard your voice said just as you would say it. So that would explain that one. But what it doesn't explain is how you were talking to somebody who had died. Now, you say that you never told anybody, not even your parents. So, really, you have no way to confirm if what that woman said was true. How did he pass? Did he even pass? It could be that he just left one day. But here's the weird part. You saw him. You saw the man before you saw a picture that she gave you. So how do you explain that? How do you explain a picture? Okay, well, it could be that she is actually married and she killed him. Okay, I know I lean a lot on the murder shit, but I don't know. Murder is always a good explanation, okay? But, okay, yeah, no, all of these were creepy. But, I don't think I have a lot yet to add. I mean, how would you explain that yacht one? But, okay. That is all I have to say about this video, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye!